So recently I finished watching the TED Talk by David Blaine entitled How I Held My Breath for 17 Minutes. The reason why I chose this TED Talk out of the billions of TED Talks was for two reasons. One is when I was younger, thought that David Blaine was one of the coolest guys in the world, and then two, I went under a category that TED Talks gave called 20 most, something like 20 most popular TED Talks, and then you start seeing a trend in all the titles about your brain and your process of thinking, and it starts to all sort of like blend together. But then this title stood out, and although it wasn't exactly the best title in the world, compared to others, it was different and interesting and original. So now for my takeaways. So I have three major takeaways. One is that if you set your mind to something, and if you try really hard, you can accomplish that goal, no matter how surreal it seems. He showed this, or he talked about how he held his breath for 17 minutes and his journey to doing this, and how it took months of practice, pain, all sorts of health problems. He blacked out many times. He failed the first time he tried on live television in Times Square. Everyone saw him fail, and then he got back up and he succeeded. Two is that magic is not just something we see in fantasy books or something that we like. It doesn't have to exist in a card trick. It could be something that is just purely impressive and creates awe to somebody, such as holding your breath for 17 minutes. But it could be other things, like, for instance, if you break a sprinter, if you break some speed, like for watching Usain Bolt during the Olympics when he broke the record, that was magical. Like to some, like magic is comes in all sorts of forms. And the last takeaway is that David Blaine's just a crazy dude. Um, he, as I said before, he had suffered health issues from this, and you could tell when he's talking, he has a hard time breathing. He when he drinks in this very exasperated way, and so you witness the effects of his trials in doing all sorts of crazy stuff. If I guess if I had to ask a question, I would ask him. Well, one is that he tells you about all these journeys that he's gone to, but you never really understand his motive. And I guess my question would be, what would motivate him to do all these crazy things? And you could think of that as like, because it's he stayed without eating for days. He went with just drinking water for 48 days, and then some scientists wrote an article about it and studied it. So I guess my question would be is, why does he put himself through this trial and error? What motivates him? So that, and maybe off of learning what motivates him, I can find some other ways to motivate myself. So yeah, that's it.